I'm Chris.
I'm Tammy.
I'm Cole.
I'm Allison.
Welcome to our car.
Today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of driving.
So, a couple months ago, we took the trip to Disney from Texas, and we drove.
Yeah.
And traditionally, we've always flown. So basically, we drove to try and save money on plane tickets, and thought it wouldn't be that bad of an experience. See some of the countryside. We had never done so, and Tammy's, for some reason, always wanted to drive, haven't you, Tammy?
I have, yes.
And it's because Tammy doesn't like to fly, do you, Tammy?
I do not.
Tammy thinks the plane is going to go down every single time. Don't you?
Every time.
I do. I am somewhat concerned about
And she
that.
always finds a story of a plane crashing every time beforehand. It's crazy.
It's true. It is very true. So when you drive, it does leave a lot of options open for you. So let's talk about some of those options. Option number one when you drive is you're not constricted to such a tight schedule,
It's true.
right?
Yeah.
And so if you hit a situation where you want to stay somewhere a little longer or spend a little more time doing something along the way, you're open for that. The other thing that's nice about driving is you have your car, and you're used to your car. You can take it from the resort to the whichever park you want to go to,
I would say that's the best pro.
and you can get there probably faster than any other means of transportation.
Yeah, we were passing buses last time we went.
That's true.
There's no sitting around waiting for a bus.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And really, it's not that bad of an experience with the drive, other than for us, you're in the car for about 16 to 18 hours, depending on how many bathroom breaks you take. And
Our trip last time took us 17 hours, but we did have like some serious traffic. So
we did. We had some
Yeah.
traffic issues.
And there was a storm that just went through.
Yeah, there had been. So, to me, those are the pros. Another pro to going is the cost. The cost is a bit of a pro. It's cheaper to drive per dollar, not by a lot, not by near as much as you might think, but it is cheaper to drive. And I expected it to be a lot cheaper, but it just wasn't.
because by the time you add in all of your gas, all of your food, because it takes so many hours to get there, and then also hotel stays, because we don't drive straight through. We always stop at a hotel for at least a night. So by the time you add all that in, along with all of your gas and food, it just doesn't really save you that much money. And the time that you waste, it takes 2 days for us to get to Disney, so
That's right.
it just doesn't seem like it's that great of an option. Unless you're going to stop, like Chris said, and go to some other areas, like if you want to stop and go to the beach or...
Right. So the last time we came, it was spring break for my school that I work for. And during spring break, we drove down, and we left, if I remember right, on a Wednesday. And we drove down, and we came home on that Saturday. And by drive, we only were able to utilize one full day in the park and a slight piece of another day, like 2 hours. And so we got one full day, and that day, at the end of it, we had to drive halfway home. And so it was an exhausting trip. I mean, we were full, but it can be done. And so that probably is more of a con than a pro.
Yeah,
But it can be done in a few days like that.
to mention one other pro.
Okay.
I'm going to mention this. when you drive, depending on what airline you use, you can't possibly get more luggage in your car.
Oh, that's true. You have more space, possibly, than you do going on the plane. Unless you just add more luggage on your flight. What about cons? What little cons do we want to mention here? I guess I should just go back to that statement. When we went back in March and we drove down on a Wednesday night. We left and we arrived on Thursday night, and then we spent about 2 hours in the park on Thursday night, and then on Friday we spent all day at the park, and then we left at about 11, and we drove for like 5 or 6 hours that night, and then we went back and drove again on Saturday all the way back to Texas. So we got one long day and one piece, like sliver of a day at the Magic Kingdom. Although we did get to eat at Ohana's, and that's almost worth the drive itself. But another con is in driving, you chance wrecking your car. That many hours on the road is far more dangerous than that many hours than just flying. Because what'll happen is on the trip we're on now, we're going to fly, and whenever we take off, it'll be Tuesday afternoon, almost like leaving on that Wednesday night. But we'll land in Florida tonight, so we'll have all day on Wednesday, all day on Thursday, until 3 or so o'clock on Friday. So we get a good solid 2.5 days in the park, and then we'll fly home on Friday night, and then we can get up Saturday and do something here, or we, and that's pretty much the equivalence of having gone on the previous trip. Only instead of 1 day and 2 hours, it'll be 2 days and 6 hours, or 7 hours. And so I think it's quite a bit of difference in time in the park. As far as money, on our way home last time, we had to pay $200 for a night stay that we normally wouldn't have paid. And then you count all your gas and the food and all that stuff, it ends up costing about the same as plane tickets. I mean, I might have saved $100, but that's not counting the wear and the tear on my car. So that's has to be considered. And so to me, that's a con for sure. I think it ultimately ends up being more valuable for you to fly if you can get the tickets like we do. We're flying Spirit Air. They're not a sponsor of ours, but we fly them, and this trip we're going on is across July 4th, and our plane tickets cost a whopping $627 round trip, and so you can't beat that. That's flying from Houston to Orlando, and then from Orlando back to Houston.
But it also depends on where you live. I mean,
Yep.
if you live closer, then it totally may be worth it to just drive.
Right.
But being as far away as we are, it just doesn't make sense for us to drive.
Yeah, like if you live near the tip of Louisiana, where it's closest to Florida,
Yeah.
it probably would be better just to drive at that point. I mean,
Yeah, if I could drive in a single day, if I was like 8, 12, if I was even 13 or 14 hours, I could handle driving straight through.
Not me. Not
I was
gonna
thinking
happen.
more like 7.
You don't think so?
I could pull an 8-hour day. I would not do a 12 or 16. I'd just as soon fly. And if you're in those areas, like a flight from Baton Rouge, which is where you're talking about, a flight from Baton Rouge on Spirit is generally about $80 per person. So to me, it's still worth it to fly. just me, but who am I other than the guy that pays for it?
We thank you guys, and until next time,
From our house to yours.